Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Islanders Never Say Die podcast. I'm your host, Sun X, and with me today, as always, is our NHL analyst and expert, the grumpy old man. They say there's no shame in his game because he's always the same. Isn't that right, Grumpy?
That's right.
That's right, Grumpy. No shame in your game at all, unlike others. Before we get into the show today, got to go over some housekeeping as always. If you guys enjoy the content over here, and even if you don't, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, comment.
If you like the content, and even if you don't.
Is that not what I just said?
No, just half-assed as usual.
Okay. If you like the content, and even if you don't.
And even if you don't.
It's verbatim what I just said.
You hear my tone? You hear how I say it? If you like the content, and even if you don't, hit the like button.
Hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, comment so we can juice up the algorithm and get this show out to as many people as possible. Isn't that right, Grumpy?
That's correct, Mr. X.
That is right. That is right. So, Grumpy, trade deadline ended. Matthew Darche made one move in particular. Thoughts?
Well, I think we should talk about, should we get angry? Should we just say we've just kind of given up on the team? Does it matter? Not really.
Let me ask: Are you upset, or did you see? I mean, I know you saw this coming a mile away. So
that's right. As I told everyone, I've told everyone for months now.
I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, though.
Not me. Like I said, if I was able to read the tea leaves, right? You know what, X? Here's the thing. I'm right 99.9% of the time, and people still doubt. I so knew I was right on this.
Yeah, I know there's been stuff that you have not been right on, but yes, this you hit the nail on the head on this. You were 100% correct. You knew what was coming. You knew not good. Honestly,
it's even worse than what we had assumed it would be.
Correct. I would have rather them just not done anything. Honestly, would have rather them just not done anything. But they doubled down. They re-signed JGP. Let's go there first.
I think what we first need to do is, you remember last week? You remember what I said last week? I said that what is the direction of this team? Some people say, oh, I love the direction of this team. I said, this team has no direction. You did. Can't tell me a direction.
You did.
And what is the direction of the team now?
They're trying to make a push in the playoffs. That's the only possible logical explanation I could have for what they did. That's it.
Okay. Now, I don't know. When Matthew Darche was first hired, do you remember what my statement was? My first initial statement was,
he's never done it before. He doesn't know what he's doing.
It was, you replaced old, bald, and dumb with young, old, and dumb.
Yeah. Yes.
And you have, if you just look at what Matthew Darche has, since he's been with the Islanders, what he's done, you could just say these are absolutely moves that Lou Lamoriello has done in the past, but almost worse, if that's possible. While Lamoriello was trading first-round draft picks every single year for guys like J.G. Pageau, Bo Horvat. I mean, J.G. Pageau at the time was 28 years old. Horvat was 28. Palmieri was a little bit older. And everyone Darce has acquired is in their 30s, mid-30s.
Yeah, and Paulie Bonsta here says, sad to see we got a GM doing the same things Lou did. The team is dedicated to giving away first-round picks for players who are not all-stars. I don't know why they hate acquiring talent in trades. 100%. Nail right on the head there. Bad.
Just think about what all the moves he's done since he's gotten here. He first of all, he's reactive. He's a reactive GM. He goes in saying he wants to get Shen and Kyrou, and it's like he's hell-bent making a deal with St. Louis, and he winds up getting Braden Shen.
The worst of the two.
Well, he was not even one of the two. He's 34. The other guys are 26 and 27.
Oh, that's right.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Those guys can be part of the future. Braden Shen isn't. Andre Palat, 36 years old. And you got another year ahead after this one.
It's like we're the retirement home now.
Braden Shen, 2 more years. And what's the thing with both of them? They can't skate anymore. Cannot skate. They still, Palat, you could tell Palat still has, that grit, but he can't skate. Braden Shen, he's still got good enough dangles, but he can't skate. These guys can't skate. In the modern NHL, if you can't skate, you're not winning.
Yep.
And it made me think, now here's the thing. I said I think the Islanders are going to make playoffs, and not necessarily because they're so great, but they're having a couple of things happen for them that, you don't really see. Like 10-0 in overtime. That's all-time NHL record, 10-0. That's really not repeatable, right?
No, especially not in the playoffs.
You have their goals saved above expected is like 36. The next highest team is 18. That's not repeatable. These are not repeatable items. No injuries. No injuries to this team.
Which is uncommon.
Not repeatable. Just not repeatable. And to just say, he made the same idiotic statement that Lamoriello used to make when he's like, oh, well, I wanted to show these guys that, I'm invested. They perform so well. We wanted to make sure we acquired somebody for these guys to show we have faith in them. Okay, that means nothing to me. Because what did Lamoriello's teams ever win?
Nothing.
I've said it here 100 times. Never won a Stanley Cup. Never won a conference. Never won a division. Won a couple of playoff rounds. That's it. When was the last time they won a playoff round? 45 years ago?
Yeah. It's been a minute.
Long time. That's a long time. I'm not saying they can't possibly maybe win a playoff round this year. It's a big maybe. But guess what? There are no 3-on-3 overtime games in the playoffs where the other team's got the puck for, 2.5 minutes. Then a guy gets sprung and it's a goal. I can't tell you how many times this year the Islanders have scored goals in overtime where they didn't even touch the puck except for when they put it in the net.
And it really doesn't matter because we're going to run into the same issue that we consistently run into, not being able to beat Carolina.
They might not even be able to beat Pittsburgh, Columbus.
Yeah, honestly, they might not.
You're just what the Islanders doing is not sustainable. That, and again, a general manager's job is not to look 2 months into the future. It's to look 5 years into the future.
Yep.
So many Islander fans just don't get it. They don't get it. The Islanders have been such losers for so many years that Islander fans think just making the playoffs is a success. That is not a success for me. It's not.
You play for hardware. You don't play to make the playoffs. Sorry. You don't. When you're not filling up the trophy cabinet, you're not doing what you need to do. Period.
I mean, I know. Let's just go through the Darche moves. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? You traded Braden Shen. That's going to be Colorado's pick. That's really not a first-round pick. Okay, it is a first-round pick. First of all, number 31. Do you want to know the last time the Islanders had number 31 pick in the draft? Who they got? Do you have any idea?
No.
Brock Nelson. I guess Brock Nelson wasn't worth a first-round pick, right? I guess maybe he's just a second-rounder, I guess. It's just okay, here we go.
Yep. Here's the subtractions under Darche. We had Noah Dobson, 26, restricted free agent, 2026 first-round pick, 2026 third-round pick, and then Marcus Godolph, who was the goalkeeper prospect. Then we had additions, 2025.
It's Gidloff, not Godolph.
Sorry, Gidloff. My apologies. Additions under Darche, 2025 first-round pick, 2025 first-round pick, Emil Henneman, who has been the best so far out of the prospects that we had in
He
the draft.
sucks. He's a fourth liner. He's a freaking fourth liner.
Sorry, no,
He's
I'm
a
thinking.
fourth liner. He's a fourth liner.
Sorry.
You could have got better than him.
Okay.
That was a bad hit. The return for Noah Dobson was not what it should have been.
Yes, and then we had Carson Soucy, 31 rental, Andre Palat, 34, one more year, making $6 million, and then Braden Chen, 34, 2 years, making $6.5 million, and his point production this year has been brutally bad.
He's finished as a player. He's finished as a player, and that's okay. It's not 2019 anymore.
And then contract extensions. We had Romanov, 8 years, $6.25 million, and then JGP, 3 years, $4.85 million.
How many centers does that leave the Islanders with next year?
I can tell you, we got
Horvat.
Yep, you got Horvat, Shen, Pajot, Casey Cizikas. Let's see what else.
Callum Ritchie.
Yes, you got Ritchie. Here we go.
I guess Barzell's no longer a center.
No, I guess not. Yeah. Or do you want me to look through the farm system as well in the minors?
No, nobody from the farm system is making team next year. Okay. Nobody. I just it's funny. I tend not to get into social media because everyone on there's pretty much stupid. And they're just so nonsensical and so dumb, most of them, that it's hard to take anything seriously. And I'm at a point in my life where I don't deal with stupidity well. I never have, honestly. Oh, well, gosh. Well, next year, Cole Eiserman and Keyshawn Aitchison and Victor Eklund are going to be up on team. No, they're not. Not one of them is going to be here next year. We can go look at the Islanders rosters that's going to be next year. Or they said, well, you know what? We got rid of Drouin's contract. Okay, but he signed Drouin not 5-6 months ago, right?
Yeah.
It didn't work out. That's fine. I could care less. Well, you weren't going to be able to pick up Shen because you didn't have the cap space unless you moved out Drouin. So that was a good move. Well, you didn't have to trade for Andre Palat and eat 2 years of his contract. You didn't have to do that for a guy who's finished. I mean, these guys are cashed. You got Anders Lee. How much you want to bet they sign Anders Lee back too when the season's over? Just think about it. Look at the team. Just look at it. Look at these lines.
A million centers.
I mean, that's good. Centers can play other positions, okay? The bottom line, I mean, Shabanov isn't long for this team. He won't be back next year. He'll be in the minors. I don't know where he's going to be. We could just go on from top to bottom if you want. You got Matthew Barzell. There's no way Henneman's on your first line next year. I can't imagine it. I mean, he's not even on the first line now. He's played on the fourth line. He is what he is, right? Horvat and Lee are going to be your two first line players. I don't know who. Look at the second line. Talk about the snail line. Palat, Shen, and Callum Ritchie. Poor Callum Ritchie. That's all I have to say.
Yep.
Now Anders Lee's going to be on the third line? Yeah, no way. With Pajot and Holmstrom. You got look at the ages. Just look at the ages of these players. Go back up to the top, X. You got Henneman's 24. He'll be 25 next year. Bo Horvat, 31. Matthew Barzell,
29.
Palat, 36. Shen,
no,
35. I'm talking about next year. Next
year. Sure.
Shen, 35. Callum Ritchie, 22. Anders Lee, 36. JG Pajot, 34. Simon Holmstrom, 25. Shabanov, if he's here, 26. Casey Zizekas, 36. Mark Gatcomb, what does it matter? 27. And then you look at your defense grouping. Schaefer's going to be 19. Pellick and Pulak are both going to be 32. Tony DeAngelo, 31. Carson Soucy, 32 if they sign him back. Scott Mayfield, 34. They're one of the oldest teams in the league.
Yeah.
They're one of the oldest teams in the league. Varlamov, of course, is gone, but Sorokin's going to be 31. David Rittich, 34. There's no room for any young guys to come up.
Nope.
Not with the contracts that they signed, not with the guys that they have 2 years, they still have extensions on their deal. And what they're doing this year is just not repeatable. It's not repeatable. You gave up a first-round draft pick. And we talked about it last week. If you're going to give up for a first-round draft pick, you want to get somebody. You're supposed to be building the team around Matthew Schaefer. Matthew Darche came out and said, we're building around our core. And none of the imbeciles in the press, well, what do you consider your core? I want him on record saying what his core is. And then when he runs off of guys who are in their 30s, I was, well, that's really, that core is kind of old, don't you think?
The senior citizen squad.
I mean, I just don't. This team, they're rudderless right now. Again, anyone who wanted to get rid of Lou Lamoriello, these are Lou Lamoriello moves, and not even as good, honestly. At least when he acquires somebody, they're going to be there for a number of years. When he's giving up a first-round pick, those guys are going to be there for a number of years. Like them or not, they're going to be there for a while. That's not the case with the guys that Darche has brought in.
A first-round pick for 2 years.
Where's Anthony Duclair? He's still on the team, right? How old is Anthony Duclair? I mean, I'm sure he's on. Can we scroll down to Anthony Duclair? Because he's still here. He's going to be 30. All right, you went way too fast, way too far. Okay. Anthony Duclair.
My cursor,
30,
sorry.
he'll be 32, 31 next year.
Yeah.
Kyle McLean, 28. Adam Boqvist, it doesn't even matter, 26. Kyle Palmieri, 36. Pierre Engvall, 31. Alexander Romanov, that useless piece of trash, 27. Varlamov, 38, 39 years old. I'm baffled. I'm baffled. What should the move have been? Again, it's never about this year. It's about future years. What have you done to build something around Matthew Schaefer? Nothing. Nothing. These are Lou Lamoriello moves, but worse. Because all the guys that he acquired are obviously in the downside of their career. Every single one on the downside of their career. I don't know what you expect from them. If you've watched the last couple of games, Shen can't skate. Palat can't skate if you watch any of his games. Can't skate at all. Carson Soucy is just bad. He's just a bad defenseman. I mean, yesterday's game against St. Louis, you get that really a fluky double minor where they scored 2 goals, and that's right after St. Louis gets a goal called back for being offsides, where it was 4-1. Then you get that fluky double minor where they scored 2 goals on, and then they're just playing for overtime from like the 12-minute mark of the third period, just playing for overtime. That's the Islanders' measure of success. And here's the thing, not just the Islanders. How many teams at the end of games just go into shutdown mode? Well, we'll just get the point and we'll move on. Again, I'm going to tell you what the NHL should do. You know how you stop that? You know how you make hockey more exciting? Forget overtime. Just forget it. 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, 0 points for a loss. Then teams are going to start going for it at the end of games. They're not going to say, well, we'll just play for the loser point and maybe we'll get a second one.
Yep.
I mean, that's how you stop that. It means more to win games in regulation.
Absolutely. Yep.
If you just think about it, how many games this year? And like I said, the Islanders are they're not the only ones. The majority of them are just happy to get to overtime. Well, we'll just take 1 point and we'll take our chances. Overtime's like 50-50 anyway. So we'll get our share of those points for 2 and then, whatever. We want to make sure we get 1 point. It's not the way hockey should be played. I don't like it. But frustrating. Just frustrating.
Yeah. We had the JGP.
There's no one who could justify that trade and say, man, that was a good deal for the Islanders. No one did, except for the idiot Islander fans, because anything Darche does is great. We've seen this all before. We've seen it all before.
You can sign Wayne Gretzky next because he used to be pretty good when he played. You can sign him.
This is like we've seen this all before from Lamoriello. The same thing. You wind up running the team into the ground with, and then it's like, oh, well, all these guys, all these prospects the Islanders have, they're all going to make the team. I'm going to tell you what, the overwhelming majority are not going to make the team. Only 31%, maybe 32%, 31.5% of first-round picks play over 100 games in the NHL. That's overtime. So to say that Victor Eklund and Keyshawn Aitchison are guaranteed stars in the league, that's not so. And we keep a second-round draft. I mean, let's say you did. Okay, let's say you didn't care if you had 2 first-round picks. You have value. You can move up in the draft if you want. There's so many things that you could do. And you either choose not to or not. It's capital, draft capital. And you gave away all your draft capital for guys who were in the mid-30s.
For a huge cap hit for somebody who's old.
And you absorbed all the cap hit. Edmonton moved 2 years of Andrew Mangiapane. They ate half of their contract at $3 million, and they got a first-round pick back. The Islanders took full freight on Braden Shen for 2 years and full freight on Ajay Palat, and they got a third-round pick back. And he makes more money than Mangiapane did. I mean, that seems like a good job of the NBA GM, able to get a first-round pick back. No? I don't know. You tell me.
How long do you think Darche lasts here before he's gone?
GM's here at least 3-4 years. At least 3-4 years.
So another 3 to 4 years of suck. Probably just enough for Matthew Schaefer to say, I want to leave this team. I want to go somewhere where I can win. And
I wonder if Matthew Schaefer has a pair of Toronto pajamas at his house. That's my thing. If I'm his agent, seriously, yeah, I'll sign an extension till I'm 25 years old. Then I can walk.
Yep.
That's what I would do. I'll walk. And then you're up shit creek without a paddle.
Yeah.
Because without him, this team is nowhere without him.
Yep.
Paul Bichonette, who everyone knows I hate, he said something that he ain't lying. The Islanders are a bottom 5 team without Sorokin and Schaefer this year. That's 100% true.
Yep.
100% true. You look at Corsi numbers. Matthew Schaefer, by far, has the highest Corsi numbers on the team. He's the reason we're able to move the puck out of the zone. The Islanders were never able to move the puck out of the zone until he had it. He wouldn't know adoption. Of course, he was too busy babysitting that piece of shit Romanov. But these are the type of things that happen. These are the type of thing when you have guys who are playing into their mid-30s. These are the guys that you're not as good anymore. I always say it. Hockey players don't age like fine wine. They age like vinegar. That's what happens. They turn sour the older they get. You see it. Is Scott Mayfield the player he used to be? No. Is Pulak? No. Is Pelech? No. And I'm not saying they don't have spurts where they play okay. Is Tony DeAngelo? I think Tony DeAngelo has actually had a pretty good year for the Islanders this year. Why do you think that is, X? Why do you think?
Because he's been playing with Schaefer.
No, because he's playing with Adam Pelech.
No.
Who's solid defensively.
Ryan
Pulak was dog shit last year. You want to know why he's better? He's playing with Matthew Schaefer. Soucy and Mayfield is not a good pair. They're just not. They're old. Mayfield has never been a great skater. He's not as good now. I've said before, Pelech has lost a step. So has Pulak. I was flummoxed by what they did at the deadline. Flummoxed.
They did nothing except move the team backwards. That's it.
They did the same thing Lamoriello's done for years. Just see if we can squeak in the playoff. Anything can happen. That used to be TJ's favorite line. And make the playoffs. Anything can happen. But you want to know what happens every year? The Islanders get beat in the first or second round. That's what happens.
Beat by Carolina.
They can't beat Carolina. And I don't even know if they could beat Pittsburgh.
Same exact thing this year.
Pittsburgh is still ahead of them in the standings, and they're playing without Crosby and Malkin. What happens when they get those guys back?
Go on
And here's the thing. Pittsburgh's subtracting guys. They're trading guys.
Because they're smart.
Because they know. They know. They know. Washington's not going to make it. Watch what Washington do. Move guys at the deadline. They know. They knew.
That's what smart teams do. If they're just going to squeak into the playoffs, they say, hey, guess what? We're only good enough to barely make the playoffs. That means we're not good enough to win it all. We need to make changes.
I still think the Islanders make playoffs. You're seeing Detroit do their annual swoon. They lasted longer than I thought they would. But here's the thing. They don't make the playoffs this year. How does Steve Yzerman keep a job?
He doesn't.
He shouldn't. He absolutely shouldn't. I'm just these fans. And I know I'm saying it derisively, fans. Oh, Matthew Darche is great. No, he sucks. He's doing the exact same things the other guy did. The exact same things. Look at Jarmo Kekalainen, the guy I wanted for the Islanders. He and Bergevin, those are the two guys I wanted. They go to Buffalo. Look at Buffalo. Buffalo is in first place in the Atlantic Division now. They're only 3 points behind Carolina for best team in the East, for best record in the Eastern Conference. Most points. And it all happened when he came in. There's a direction for that team. There's no direction for the Islanders. The Romanov signing was a dead reaction to to having to trade Noah Dobson. How do you
explain the Pajot signing then? Or sorry, the extension.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet, right? Then he trades Dobson, 2 number ones, and the 4th liner, Henneman. Here's the thing. And everyone said, oh, look at those 2 great guys he got. You realize he didn't want either one of those guys.
Nope.
He wanted to move those picks for James Higgins.
Yep.
That's what he wanted to do. He was actively trying to move those 2 guys or those 2 draft picks who turned into those 2 plays for James Higgins. That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. So for everyone to say, well, gosh, look at how great he did drafting those guys. He didn't even want them.
Yep.
He didn't even want them. And we don't even know if they're going to pan out. I think Eklund has 5 goals this year. I like Eklund. I like what I see from Eklund. Aitchison, I don't. What I've seen of him in big moments, he disappears. He plays really well in the OHL.
Against bigger competition, he disappears.
That's right. He should have went to college last year or this year. Absolutely should have. He wanted to be the big fish in the little pond. Makes you question the guy a little bit. And again,
he's 19, right?
He'll be 20. He was like an old.
Oh,
he was older when he was drafted. I think he'll be. I mean, you can look up on that thing and see how old he is now. But I mean, he's closer to 20 than he is to 18. That's for certain. I just don't know where we go from here. Then then like Carson Soucy. He's been miserable everywhere he's been the last number of years. He moves around more than a deck of cards. Just always getting traded. He gives up a second or third round pick for Soucy. Palat. That was a salary dump by Jersey. We took on a salary dump contract. We got a 3rd round pick back, but that's a salary cap dump. Then he winds up moving these picks anyway to bring in Braden Shen, who's finished. And you hear, oh, well, he's going to bring leadership to the room. How much? Isn't that what we've heard for years from the Islanders? This is a room that just has so much leadership to it. Anders Lee, Bo Horvat, all these guys are leaders. Whole team full of leaders. Why do you need more leaders? You need more performers.
You didn't know the more leaders you bring around leaders, the better the leaders are. Come on.
You needed more performers as opposed to leaders. That's what we've been told for years. This team look at the leadership on this team. How many times you heard it? 100 times from the front office. Anders Lee, what a great leader he is. Oh, Horvat, what a leader. They're all leaders. And then you're like, well, these guys, they won Stanley Cups. He's clueless. Darce's clueless. He wants to build a team like they did it in Tampa. The difference is Tampa had Kucherov, Vasilevsky, Point, Stamkos, Hedman. The Islanders don't have anybody like that. Schaefer, but he's a kid. They don't have – you can do that and trade right first-round picks for guys like Blake Coleman and Yanni Gord and guys like that. When you have the studs on the top, well, you don't have the studs on the top. Adding the ancillary pieces for the bottom of your lineup doesn't amount to a hill of beans. It's just frustrating. Just frustrating. The Palat deal. Why? Why are you eating 2 years of salary on Andre Palat, who can't play anymore? I mean, if they could play, that's one thing. They can't skate anymore. Now, it's funny because at the first game, I saw number 10, who I thought was still Simon Holmstrom, was knocking guys down. I'm like, man, look at him. I mean, that's Simon Holmstrom throwing a body? I'm like, am I going to have to say something nice about Simon Holmstrom? No. Simon Holmstrom took number 92 for a Rolex, and he gave his number 10 to Shen. I should have known because number 10 couldn't skate anymore. At least Holmstrom could skate. It's like I said, it's just frustrating. I don't know what people think, but it's hard to see a future for this team where they're contending for a Stanley Cup. Right now, it's really, really hard. Really hard.
It's going to be the same result. It's going to be the same exact result that you continue to get over and over and over again because you continue to do the same dumb crap over and over and over again, and you expect the result to be different.
Is Sorokin going to have the same numbers that he did? This year's been sensational.
Career year this year. No, he's not going to put up the same numbers probably again. This is his Hall of Fame caliber year. This is his great year that he's going to have in his career.
And he's excellent, but he's being hung out to dry every night because the defense just isn't that good. Like I said, 36 or 37 goals saved above expected. Think about that. The next highest is half. Half is the next highest in the league. 10 overtime wins. You're not going to replicate that. And again, people don't care. They don't look past the end of their nose. You got to look into the future. It's just frustrating as a real Islander fan, it's frustrating, not some hammerhead.
Yep, 35.2 to 19.5 for goals saved above expected as of March 8th.
I mean, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, blowing every other team out of the water, for being honest.
Honestly, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Toronto knows they're not going to play us. What do? Do they keep the same guys? Do they move guys? They start moving guys. That's what good teams do. They're like, okay, we're not going to make it. And here's the thing, even if you do make it, you saw teams like the Capitals a couple of years add and subtract at the same time. Pittsburgh adding and subtracting at the same time.
Well, we added just not what we needed.
Just going after just treading water.
Fossils.
Let's see if we can make the playoffs and get some healthy gates for a couple of playoff games. And maybe that's what ownership wants. I don't know. I don't think they could care too. They could care too. They want
to make the playoffs. They want to make the playoffs, and they want to make money. That is what they care.
I don't think that he cared less. They can care less if they win a Stanley Cup.
Oh, they don't. They care about making additional revenue in the playoffs. That's all they care about.
And one more thing about Darche, he loves the camera. He loves being on the camera with that stupid smile. He loves being on the camera. He loves being on. Hey, he sucks. Like I said, I was going to give him the offseason. Nope. I told you a few weeks ago. Nope. I knew exactly what he was going to do at deadline. That's what he did. I knew exactly what he was going to do.
Right. I gave the guy the benefit of the doubt, and turns out he disappointed.
Now you're limited what you could do in the offseason.
Yep.
Because you've taken on all that salary.
Yep.
Now you have to move guys. Who are you going to move off? You just signed Pajot back. Why are you signing a 33-year-old third-line center to a 3-year extension when you just traded for Braden Shen? And supposedly you've been grooming Callum Ritchie to be a second-line center. Why was that the move? Why are you resigning him? And then he's probably signed Braden Shen so he could take over the captaincy for Anders Lee. Anders Lee's going to be back. You know he's going to be back. Yep. I don't know what kind of deal. He's not going anywhere. No one ever leaves. They got it so easy here. There's no expectations to win.
Here's the thing. If they're so hell-bent on signing these players back, why don't they sign them to 1-year deals? Why don't they ever do that? Why is it always 3-4 year deals? Why don't they sign him back to 1 year?
No one wants to stay there for a year.
Approve it deal. Hey, guess what? You perform and you produce, we'll sign you back for another year after that. We'll keep signing you to 1 year deals until guess what? You stop producing, then we're not going to sign you back.
Because they'll go somewhere else.
Long-term deals. Well, then go somewhere else. Then go somewhere else.
But there's no one. Okay, you want to know who the biggest free agent the Islanders ever signed is? Andrew Ladd. Biggest one. And again, that was a reactionary deal by Garth Snow because they lost Kyle Okposo and Franz Nielsen. When these guys hit free agency, they left. And it's like, oh no, we got money we got to spend on Andrew Ladd. That didn't work out. They've never no free agent, no big time free agent has ever come to the Islanders. And free agency's been in the NHL for what, 30 something years? Not one has come to the Islanders. Not a one. You figured just luck you'd get a big name free agent to come. Nope. Not with the Islanders.
What is it that free agents don't want to come here?
They'd rather go play for the Rangers.
Why is that?
Maybe they want to win because that's certainly not a prerequisite here. And here's the thing. You see, they trade for Carson Soucy, right? What's the first thing he says? Oh, I'm really grateful the Rangers traded me here. You know, I got children who are in school. I don't have to move them out. Andre Palat, Andre Palat, so playing with Matthew Schaefer, and I remember these guys were tough against us, and Braden Shen, it's tough leaving St. Louis, but I want a chance to play with Matthew Schaefer. You know what you never hear any of them say? Not a one. I'm come here to win a Stanley Cup. None of them ever said that. None of them ever say it's about winning. Never ever did they say it's about winning. Never, ever about winning. Never about winning. Free agents, they want to get paid, right? Like I said, the Drouin deal never killed me. I mean, everyone started hating Drouin. Drouin's his first game in St. Louis, he scores a goal, right? Go figure. He only had 3 for the Islanders all year. Still outscoring Braden Shen with the Islanders. Go figure. I just think Drouin didn't work out. Jonathan Drouin didn't work out. Didn't bother me signing him to a 2-year deal. I kind of liked that deal, actually, from Darche at the time. 2 years, $4 million per. Short term, not big money. You didn't have to move him. You didn't have to move Jonathan Drouin. You could have eaten the second year. Why bring in a Palat at 6.5? Why bring him in? I mean, that's why you had to get rid of Drouin, because to get Shen and eat all of his money, you had to move somebody off.
You had to free up space.
So that's an admitted failure by Darche moving him, right? He admitted he made a mistake with Drouin. That's fine.
Yep.
I don't mind that he's here or gone. I just don't like the fact bringing in older guys who are on the really, really over the top of the hill with their skill set. This has been Shen's worst year ever. Part of it could be because St. Louis is bad, but
to be fair, that is a huge factor. The team sucked. St. Louis is all.
He's a blood and guts player in his mid-30s.
I'm not saying that. Yeah, I'm not saying that either. I definitely think he's not the player he used to be, and he won't be with us. Yeah. I don't like to trade solely because guess what? By the time, and as we've said earlier, by the time Schaefer, hits his stride, hits his prime of his career, he'll no longer be with the team.
None of these guys are going to be with the team in 2-3 years.
And you gave away picks for him.
You have no one, but you have no one to add. Who are you going to add?
You're not.
You don't have draft picks. You want to trade them all away.
Yep.
Dumb.
Smart.
I give Lamoureux credit last year. He moved Nelson and got a first-round draft pick, which is gone, and Callum Ritchie.
Do you want to get some comments, Grubby?
Well, yeah. I want 1 second, X. Just read the first comment and you comment on it, please.
All right, this one's from What's Up 4800. GMs have a short-term and long-term plans. This deadline was focused on building around Schaefer for a playoff run. Draft picks are no long-term, with the exception of Schaefer. Yeah, I would have much rather have the team, look towards the future as opposed to short-term. Hey, let's make the playoffs and make a little bit of a run with Schaefer. I'm sorry. There will be plenty of time for Schaefer to get experience in the playoffs. You don't have to sacrifice the future for that. That's all.
If you're going to acquire players for a playoff run, you want them to be someone who can grow with the team.
Yep.
That's what you want. If you're going to move draft picks, it's not you move draft picks for older guys, for the plugins for your bottom six. You move them when your team is like ready to win. The Islanders aren't ready to win. They're not. Their chance of winning the Stanley Cup playoffs, winning the Stanley Cup this year, are still less than 1%.
Yep.
Okay. Freedom Fund Adventure says, this question is for the notoriously grumpy old man. When you look out the windows of the vast grumpy estate and see Drew walking son X like a dog, how do you feel? Maybe Drew could walk dog Z at the same time. I don't even know what that means.
He's saying because Drew has a hold on me because I only post Drew's stuff. Well, as I said, Drew sends it through the Twitter, so I can.
Okay, and then, well, we'll touch on this in a second. I do want to do the ad read real quick, if we could.
Yes.
All right. DraftKings, sportsbook and official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. Like, let's say, what do you think that, I mean, here's the thing, honestly, I realized I don't want anybody putting money on this. If a game goes to overtime, I'm betting the Islanders to win.
100%. Absolutely.
You can't get any luckier than they are this year with the overtimes, right?
Yep.
So I mean, that's one you can consider, or maybe Braden Shen putting up a goal. I wouldn't bet on that one.
I feel like their overtime wins is almost like the same thing as the Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown, or like consecutive game touchdowns. What did he score? I think he scored like a touchdown like 10 or 15 straight games or something like that. But I feel like that's kind of how their overtime wins are. It's like they've won 10 straight overtime games. It's just nuts.
But new customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager. Tax pass through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states, void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.com/audio limited time offer. Okay, X. Let's bang out some of these comments. I just wonder if maybe a lot of people are happy with the direction of Matthew Darche and the Islanders.
I feel like it's mixed. It's mixed.
Okay. JP says, so this roster is supposed to win a championship. It's like an out-of-body experience for me at this point, how the Islanders are run. No direction whatsoever. That I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yep.
Like being chained in a cabana with an impending tsunami. It's funny because I've been watching like some videos on that tsunami that wiped out, I see people just kind of strolling. I mean, dude, I'd be sprinting. I see the ocean coming up on me. That's a lot of Islander fans just sitting there getting swept up in a tsunami. Sucked out to sea.
Yep.
Okay, next.
This is the next one. Oh, sorry, you read that one. My bad.
Harley Mazda says, what's up? Shen has 28 points on the season prior to the trade. The guy's 34 years old. Won't make a difference on offense. He was not worth a first-round pick, period. So many fans are blinded by the light.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to have to see if I can add the additional comment on that one.
Hold on, X.
Sorry. Blinded by. Oh, this is the next one. So.
Okay, Grumpy is always right with his comments. I really wish we would have just stayed pat, which looked the case. I was pissed when at the last minute, he gave away a first-round pick for a 34-year-old forward. And the thing is, he just can't play anymore. He can't play anymore. He's on downside. Freedom Fund Adventure says, not a fan of the deadline, and now I trust Darche less. I hope they miss the playoffs to improve draft position. Should have sold. I wonder if ownership and leadership players didn't do annual gotta go for it bit. Well, okay, they got rolled in the 2 West Coast games, and then they won a couple overtime games. JP says, I'll say this. If Wah wins the cup with this sorry-ass bunch, he should be named head coach of the century. Forget the Jack Adams, the all-century award for head coaches. Okay, they're not winning a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Mario Vargas says, first time since I began to understand sports that I see a GM picking up salaries from salary dumps and giveaway picks in the process. Exactly.
So stupid.
Exactly. You're eating salary.
Literally helping another team out with their salary cap issues and then giving them draft picks for it.
It's astonishing.
I'd say, hey, if we bring in Shem, we're gonna have to eat a lot of salary. Let's give you maybe a 3rd round pick or a 4th round pick, not a 1st.
How about not giving away any picks? How about that?
Sure. Or that.
Fleet Dream says, Grump, Sun X, how you guys doing tonight? Pickle Boy, very good, Fleet Dreams. Yep. Pickle Boy gets an F-. You're supposed to trade Pajot and leave for picks and prospects, but no. F Pickle Boy.
Agreed.
Freedom Fund Adventure says, I wanted the Islanders to sell to get younger, tougher, faster, more skilled, to be as hungry as Sun X on a Sunday night. Must now purge all they can this summer to not be painted in the corner. He's not moving these guys. He's not moving any of these guys. You're mistaken there. This is your team next year, too.
Doubling down. He's going to double down.
Yep. SSE says, I'd love a younger, more skilled team, but the prospects are not ready yet, and Darche needs more time. What do you mean? You could have traded for established NHL players like Kyrou, right? He didn't trade. He wouldn't give up a first-round pick for Kyrou, but you give one up for Braden Shen? My gosh. And there's Giloff is a good goalie.
Yep.
That's the one position that St. Louis is really good at identifying good young goalie talent. Let's see what this kid does. He was the top 100 prospect in the NHL this year. Top 100 under 23, whatever the heck it is. Fleet Dream says, couldn't believe Phil didn't like what Pickle Boy did. Phil is totally out on Pickle Boy. But I will say this. Phil also loves Lamoriello and hates Darche. Me, I hate both of them. Anybody who doesn't do their job, I hate.
Yep. TJ
loved Darche, hated Lamoriello. He's out on Darche. I said I would give him a year. He didn't. It didn't. As soon as he started acquiring older guys in season, I knew the direction the team was going. What he should have done and what he did were two different things. Sometimes you got to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. So there you go. Next, please. Polymaz says, Kyrou for the same first pick in Aitchison would have been such a better deal for this team over F and Shen. Guy is old and not productive point-wise. Yeah, he can't skate anymore. That's the whole thing. Where's Aitchison going to play on this team? Where's he playing? You got to wait at least 3-4 more years, right, for Aitchison?
Yep.
Because right now on your left-hand side, right, he's not going to be our power play guy, that's for certain. You have Romanoff, left side defenseman, locked up for 7 more years. You have Matthew Schaefer here. He's the top dog. And you got Adam Pelech, who's got 4 more years on his deal. I believe 4 more after this one, or 3 or 4 more after this one. I mean, you go figure it out. Left shot defenseman. SSC says most owners like Malkin do not want to miss the playoffs 2 years in a row with a new building. Okay. And maybe a lot of owners are like that. I don't think Malkin cares one way or the other. I don't think he cares at all.
Yeah, here's my thing. It's not what the owner should be focused on. You don't buy a sports team, to make profit and make the play. You buy the sports team to put out the best result. And if your best result is, hey, we're just going to make the playoffs, we're going to barely squeak into the playoffs and, get eliminated in the first or the second round, that's not quality product. It's not. I'd rather the team suck so bad that they can acquire a ton of good draft picks, make the team better, and become a dynasty. That's what I would much rather have. I would much rather that happen.
Or be truly competitive.
Yes.
How many high-end players are on the Islanders? If you're talking high-end players on the Islanders franchise, who you could say, okay, they are high-end.
3, maybe 4. Schaefer, Sorokin, Bo Horvat, and then maybe Matthew Barzal. That's it, in my opinion.
And is Bo Horvat really high-end?
I don't know. I would consider him a high-end player. Maybe the Canadian national team. I consider him a high-end player.
High-end player, 2. Sorokin and Schaefer.
Okay. I'd throw Bo Horvat in there. But
Okay, but let's say 4.
yeah,
And it's
maximum 4.
maximum 4.
Yeah.
Then everybody else is pretty much a ham and egger, right?
Just an average guy, a jag.
Freedom Fund Event says, let's get the warden on here to confirm if Grumpy is right 99%. It's 99.9% of the time. Every roster spot and dollar is critical to improve. I was happy with the direction until the trade deadline. Is the root cause the owners? Well, that's what I want to know. Did the owners just say, now, what I heard, the owners are really enamored with Darche, probably because he brought him coffee like he did in Tampa. He knows, hey, I know I'll make sure I bring the coffee to the owners. Because he didn't do anything. Believe me, he did nothing in Tampa. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
And by the way, Grumpy Pellick is on 5 of 8 at $5.75 million.
So he's got 3 more years to go.
Correct.
Okay, 3 more years to go.
Correct.
Matthew Carbone says, I have no problem with JGP signing. More rested what he does with Lee. They'll re-sign Lee too. Now, Lee will get 2. Lee will get 2 years.
Why not sign these guys to a freaking 1-year deal?
Why not just let them walk?
That's fine. I'm saying if you're so hell-bent on bringing them back, why not sign him to a 1-year deal? A 1-year prove-it deal. And guess what? If they prove it and they play well, sign them again. Maybe don't motivate the guys to play a little bit better. I don't know.
Don't ask me. They've done it like this for years. Now, once you get here, once the cul-de-sac mentality clicks in, no one wants to leave. You don't have to win.
It's a country club. That's why.
The fans don't care if you win. They want you to win, but if you lose, that's okay. It's really not a big deal. The media, the Islander media could care less if they win.
Steps suck.
They never hold their feet to the fire for anything. It's a really easy place to play. It's a nice place to live and an easy place to play. There's no repercussions.
No accountability.
No accountability whatsoever. None.
You could just continue to produce like shit and have awful results. And
doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're cool with it. We're fine with it. It is what it is. Awful.
Also, I just want to say that Matthew Darche will keep the streak the streak alive of once you're a GM of the Islanders, you never get another GM job for the rest of your life. He's absolutely going to keep that alive. Fleet Dream says, you're right, Son X. A newer version of the retirement home. That's what it is.
Yeah. Pretty soon it's going to be like a fossil exhibit.
What if the Islanders don't make the playoffs, X? What happens then if they don't make the playoffs?
A laugh.
What is Darche?
You just essentially torpedoed the team for the next, I don't know, 3 years to not make the playoffs.
Well, even who cares if you make the playoffs?
Well,
You're not winning anything.
Who makes the playoffs? But then I'm saying then it's even worse what you did. Then it's even worse. If you don't make the playoffs, there's no way in hell you should re-sign back Lee. No way. You shouldn't re-sign him back anyway. But still, there's no way you should re-sign him back.
I'm just baffled why they signed JGP back. I mean, he could have gotten you seriously. He could have gotten you absolutely a first and a second in this for what the prices were going and how well he's been playing. A first and a second, absolutely.
That was my question. It's like, okay, we know the Romanov, signing was a reactionary signing. What was the reaction that caused him to re-sign JGP? Just,
hey, we like how he's playing now. We figure when he's 36 or 37 years old, he's going to be just as good. They're just dumb. They're dumb. And here's the thing. He likes the French Canadian guys. He's a francophone, just like Patrick Roy. Look at just like Jonathan Drouin, just like Anthony Duclair. They're all guys French Canadians. This guy's French Canadian. They love their French Canadians. They just do.
Setting us back.
Awful. Gungun says, what was a better signing, Braden Shen with the Islanders or Geno Smith with the Jets? Grumpy, did you ever shake a castanet? I never shook a castanet, at least that I know of. Maybe I have. But the Jets wound up getting Geno Smith from the Raiders and a 7th-round pick for a 6th-round pick. I think that's a much better deal for the Jets. Jets suck. They might as well be Islanders adjacent, pretty much. They're not going anywhere. And neither the Islanders. Sorry. Braden Shen can't play anymore. Give me a Braden Shen of 5 years ago. Yeah, okay.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll be in for that. Not at 34 years old. Give me Braden Shen when they won a Stanley Cup. Absolutely. How old was he then in 2019? 30 years old? 29 years old at the time? Yeah. How old is he?
He's 34 now.
Okay, so in 2000, so 7 years ago he was 27. Yeah, that's the type of guy. That's the type of guy you bring to build around. That's a guy when you have Matthew Schaefer.
That's Cairo.
That's right. That's the type of guy you bring in when you have a Matthew Schaefer, a guy that can grow with the team. You have him with 6, 7 years. I mean, because look at it, he's finished now, but he was pretty. And last year he was on the downside too. Last year was,
but he was productive, for the 4 or 5 years before that.
That's right. That when guys get into their mid-30s, their careers are over. Unless you're a McDavid or a Mario Lemieux or a Gretzky, those are generational talents.
Or a Crosby,
Charles Dittmer says, Grumpy, as I said before, the old man is still running the team. Nah, he's not running the team. The other guy just dumbass. Matthew Carbone says, exactly, we won't beat Carolina. That's not happening. Frank from Empire State says, hit the thumbs up. Please do. Please hit the thumbs up button. Brandon Gaines says, no injuries. Kyle Palmieri's injury, a little overlooked. He was on a 20. Okay. How many games did oh my God, Brandon. How many games did Kyle Palmieri play this year? Was on a 25-goal pace. How old is Kyle Palmieri? 35? I mean, I also don't think Palat will be on the team after this season. Very buyout friendly. It's not buyout friendly. It's $6 million.
Palmieri's 35. Yeah, Palmieri's 35.
Yeah, Palmieri's 35. How many games did he play this year, X?
I can look it up. Can you say
25-goal pace. I mean, stop. You can't extract. He's never. How many times?
He played 25 games, had 6 goals and 12 assists this year.
25 games. He had 6 goals in 25 games.
He had 6 goals in 25 games, 12 assists, total of 18 points.
Okay, well that's an 18-goal pace, Brandon. At least I can do fucking math. Come on. Got to get better. Be better before you make that up. Because if I got to fact check you, I know you're wrong. Goon says, the only semi-sweet spot on the otherwise doo-doo flavored sundae, Darche didn't trade away any of the young bucks, which Lou would have definitely done. Son X, what do you usually do for fun? What do you do for fun, X?
I don't know. Go out, have a good time, hang out with family.
Eat free food?
Eat free food, absolutely.
What did you get for dinner tonight, X?
Oh, I got some pizza tonight. It's pretty good.
Where'd you eat that pizza?
At a restaurant called the Grumpy de Bourdon.
How much did it cost you?
Nothing. Visa MasterCard. Yeah.
Charles Dittman says, X, here's a trivia question for you. What boneheaded move did Darche do this trade deadline?
Every move he decided to do this trade deadline was boneheaded.
What's the one he did at the trade deadline?
The Shen. Oh, and then the JGP contract extension.
Yeah, both bad.
Yeah.
Re-signing guys in their mid-30s to extensions. Just
smart.
Not thrilled we traded away a probable late first-round pick. Exactly. And you don't even have to use the pick there. You can move it.
You can trade it for another player.
Use them as assets. You can move up and down the draft board. A first-round pick is really valuable. Somebody drops. Somebody is enamored with somebody. Oh, hey, we'll give you a 1 next year and a 2nd this year to take a 1 there. It's called maximizing your assets. He didn't do that. He did not do that. I don't think he's capable. Just like I told oh my gosh, he can add and subtract at the same time. He can't. He doesn't know long division. He doesn't even know how to multiply. I knew he couldn't add and subtract at the same time. Again, proven right. And yeah, I'm one of those guys who say, I told you so. Absolutely. Polly Mazda says, wild. JGP got essentially the same money as before. No, he was making, well, I guess it was pretty close to the same. Yeah, $5 million per for 5 years. 40 points a season. Oh, but he's a face-off king. Fans love anybody but the players who put up points. Yeah. Islander fans it's because most of the Islander fans are grinder type. Most of the Islander players are grinder types. They're blue-collar guys. They're easy to root for. They're not guys who win you championships, though. You need talent. And you need more than Matthew Schaefer. He's great. Matthew Sklar says, the only good thing is Drouin is gone. I didn't care about Drouin. Never bothered me.
Yeah, and just to let you know, Pajot's previous contract was $5 million for 6 years. And then this contract is going to be $4.85 million for 3 years. So pretty close.
It's like the Casey Cizikas deals. I never seen a fourth liner get 10 years worth of contracts in 2 deals. Astonishing. Freedom Funderich says, I want Hogberg gone from New York. Hogberg doesn't play with the team. When Bridgeport and the Rangers farm team had a brawl and the Hartford goalie involved, the Islanders bench was yelling for Hogberg to get involved, and the coward shook his head. No, I don't care about that. It's nonsense. JP says, there's no room for Eklund and anyone coming up as far as I can tell, just like Lulu. Nothing's changed. Exactly. You bring in guys who have term. Guess what? They're not going anywhere. They're not moving those guys. They didn't trade for anyone who's on an expiring deal. They traded for guys who have term, which is even more guys in the mid-30s with term. More mind-boggling. Matthew Sklar says Lee will probably be re-signed. There's going to have to be some trades over the summer. Who?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is who would be a potential trade this summer? Who would you trade away?
They'll probably still try to unload Duclair. They'll try to move Shabanov. Other than that, you're talking about
what are they going to get you back?
Nothing.
Duclair would just be what, the 7th or 8th team he's been on?
It will be his 10th team.
10th team. Okay, 10th team he'll be on.
What's the thing about Matthew Duclair? Anthony Duclair. He's a problem in the room.
Very obvious.
Because, I mean, when he's out there, he can be productive. You could see where he could help jumpstart the offense. They don't want to play him. Wah got on him last year so much he quit and went home. I was stunned they brought him back. Stunned. They couldn't get rid of him. He vetoed a trade to Jersey. He didn't want to go anywhere. Maybe he'll be open to being moved in the offseason. I don't know. No trade clause.
Yep.
JP says at this rate, Schaefer's agent is telling him to jump ship when his prime years start. Here's the thing. Schaefer is going to be eligible for free agency when he's 25. And how much money is he going to get? How much money is he going to get after his entry deal? If I'm him, I'm absolutely just take myself to 25, and then I can be a free agent. And then you make either the Islanders or whoever pay full freight. That's what you do. That's what I would do. This next contract, he's going to be making at least $10 million a year after his entry level deal. Minimum of $10 million a year. Minimum. Fleet Dream says, Grumpy, you're right. Pickle Boy should stick to the pickleball and getting coffee for everyone. Absolutely. That's all he does. SSE says the big issue is the 7-year contracts and the no trade clause. Well, now it's 7 years for somebody who's on your existing team, or 6 years if you sign somebody from another organization. And they give out those no trade clauses like they're candy. And I mean, we talked about Parenko last week. He did not waive his no trade to go to Buffalo, which I thought was dumb on his part. If he wanted to have a chance to win, it was dumb. Well, gosh, he should have done. Oh, and he should have done that. But you want to know what? Don't give them no trade clauses in their contracts. Everybody gives them away like they're candy. And then they wonder why people don't waive. Certain teams can make you waive. Other teams can't. Tampa can make anybody waive a no trade clause. We'll send you to freaking Siberia if you don't want to get waived. They bow to Tampa Bay. That's what happens when you're a winner, though. You can do that. Matthew Carbone says, what did you expect him to do? Trade Lee and JPG? Absolutely. Guys on expiring deals on a team that's not good enough to win a Stanley Cup, you move those guys.
If they have value, yeah.
You absolutely could have got a first and a second for Pajot. Absolutely. And you could have got probably a second and a third for Lee. Then, okay, now you would have your 2 firsts, then another first, 3 firsts, a couple of 2s and a 3. Because right now they don't have a second round pick. I don't even think they have a third round pick this year. I mean, how do you fill up your farm system when you don't have any picks? I don't know. And let's say, okay, well, we don't want to pick all that many guys. Well, you know what? Then you take a couple of twos and that one move up in the first round. That's what you do. You get higher level talent by maneuvering around the draft board. I don't think Darche is capable of that, honestly. I don't think he doesn't even know what he doesn't know. That's how dumb he is.
Here's what I'll say. I'll just say this. I think this is his first year as being a GM ever. I think he said, I have to make a move so it's not looked at negatively in the media. And he just decided to throw it at anything. I mean, honestly, that's how it feels. He said, oh, shit, I haven't made a move yet. I need to do something.
He got lucky. Where would this team be without Matthew Schaefer?
I'm just telling you, I think that's why he did what he did. That's the only explanation I could have. He felt he had to do something so it wasn't looked negatively that, wow, this guy's first year as GM, his first trade deadline, and he does nothing. I'm telling you, that's why I think he did what he did.
He's just a dumbass. Gungun says, Grumpy, you're acting like the playoffs are a lock for the Islanders this year, but I disagree. Remember what happened to the Mets at the end of 2025. Son X, does it feel good to be alive?
It feels good to be alive.
Why don't we bring up the standings right now? Can we bring up the standings of the Eastern Conference? I think the Islanders are making the playoffs. Here's the thing about it, they've gotten 10 extra points. Last year, everyone was crying, oh, the poor Islanders, they would be a playoff team if they won all their overtime. You don't win all your overtime games, except for the Islanders this year. Right now, okay, Pittsburgh, a game in hand, and they're tied with the Islanders. The Blue Jackets have a game in hand, 3 points behind, and the Islanders still play them one more time. The Capitals are 8 points back. I don't see that. That's it. I mean, you could see the top 4 teams have a shot to make the playoffs. Blue Jackets, Islanders, Penguins, and Hurricanes. And 76 points is the lowest there. Let's go to the Atlantic, please. There we go. Sabres, 86. Lightning, 82. They're guaranteed to make it. Canadians will make it with 80. And then you have 79 for the Red Wings, but they're sputtering now, right? Every year they fall apart at some point in time. Every single year. Look
who's creeping up. Look who's creeping.
And the Bruins.
That's right.
78 points. They're close. And the Senators, honestly. 63 points. 63 games, 73 points. Yep. The Islanders have played how many games?
I think 65. Yeah, 65 games.
Okay, so they have 2 games in hand, and they're 6 points behind the Islanders. Islanders have to keep winning. They have to keep on getting games to overtime.
Yep.
That's what they'll do. They will absolutely do that. As soon as they get a lead or whatever, they want to get to overtime. That's what they do. Freedom Fundamental says, Son X, do everyone a favor and stop saying that 48 is going to leave BS. Most Islander fans are Jets, Giants, Mets. Fans are traumatized. Who cares? Your 5 years from now, due date projecting is too negative. Oh, I also want to let everyone know we are doing the Islanders Never Say Die Fantasy Baseball League again this year. I'm going to send out, for people who were with the league last year, I'm going to be sending out invitations to you first. But if anyone wants to join, please send an email to Islanders Fans United at gmail.com. Isn't that it, X?
I think so, yes.
Let me look at it. I just want to get on. I should have said that right off the top, and I didn't, of course, because, well, that was stupid of me not to do that.
Let me answer this question here. My only fear is we run into the same situation we ran into with Tavares.
It's possible, right?
My big concern is a guy says he wants to stay here. He's really dedicated to the team and then says, nope, I'm going to leave and go somewhere else where I can win. I mean, at the end of the day, that he's not like the rest of the guys who are on your team who just want to be, hey, we're just here to, collect a paycheck and play a couple of games. We don't really care whether we win or lose. We're here, family oriented. We're here because it's a great location. It's awesome for my family. We love the community that's here. He's a kid who's driven and you can tell he wants to win. He wants to succeed. And guess what? He realizes, hey, I'm not going to be able to attain that with this team. absolutely, I think he will leave and go somewhere else in the prime of his career. 100%. That's why
Agreed.
you have to go ahead and do everything you possibly can to have a productive team when that time comes. So he wants to stay.
Yes.
You can just tell the way he walks, the way that he acts. He wants to win.
Absolutely. And once again, that email for the Islanders Never Say Die Fantasy Baseball League, which is always a lot of fun. Last year's champ was John McManaman. Is Islanders Fans United at gmail.com. Just shoot us a quick email. And like I said, every year we have flux in who comes back and who doesn't. But Islanders Fans United at gmail.com. Please, please, please send me an email if you want to be part of the Islanders Never Say Die Fantasy Baseball League.
And then SSE 8016 here says Islanders will trade 48 and get a haul and will not let 48 walk for nothing like JT. Never say never.
Never say never.
Because guess what? We all didn't think the same exact thing was going to happen with Tavares, and it did. So never say never. All it takes is somebody saying, hey, yeah, no, I'm really bought into the team. I really want to be here. And then they turn their back on you.
Yep.
That's all it takes is them to lie.
Ricky Roma says the Islanders the Sabres went 25-5-2 when Adams was fired, and you're giving Yarmo all the credit. How was Yarmo in Columbus? Let's relax with the Yarmo glazing. Okay, what Yarmo has done, look what he did. He's not afraid to acquire players. He's actually made moves. It's the leadership at the top of the organization. They know an adult is in charge. Yarmo is never afraid to make a move. Yeah, you know what? Small market team like Columbus, he went for it one year. Absolutely did. They rebuilt the whole thing back up. I think Don Waddell is great for Columbus as well, but they don't have a goalie. That's the one thing that's Carolina's Achilles heel. That's why they can't win a cup. They don't have a goalie. But they're good enough to get to the Eastern Conference Finals every year. They just don't have a goalie. They get beat by not having a good enough goalie in the big moments. Correct. That's what
that's the only reason they lose.
Yep. Matthew Sklar says, yeah, having all this cap on for guys in their 30s is a problem. The Romanov deal is the worst of them all because of the term. And the fact that he's the worst player. That's the worst.
In NHL, right?
Freedom Puncher says, Darche did not want Higgins. You're wrong. For PR reasons, the Islanders had to show the stupid part of the fan base they tried. Dude, no, he wanted Higgins. He absolutely, I have it. I have a source. He absolutely wanted Higgins. Absolutely he did. Dude has much regret on calling as when a 400-pound girl turns a guy down he never counted. He wanted to move those 2 first-round picks to get Higgins. He absolutely did. I'm telling you that. I know that. Tim McCall says, in my personal opinion, I would take Braden Shen over Jonathan Drouin. What's the difference? Remember when I called Drouin the biggest clown on this team? Well. Yeah, okay. Nobody said Jonathan Drouin was the answer, but neither was Braden Shen. And you didn't just get rid of. It's not a 1-for-1 swap.
You got rid of pick.
You gave up a 3rd-round pick and a 1st-round pick and a goaltending prospect. And you ate his contract for another 2 years after this one. That's what you did. Drouin just has 1 more year at $4 million per. 1 more. You got 2 more years of Shen after this. 2 more.
That's 6.5. That's 6.5 a year.
Yeah. Freedom Fundamental says, if existing Islanders core is so good and such great leadership, why do they need more? The core is rotten. It's rotten, I tell you. It's a rotten brain. Ixnay on the rotten brain. Okay. You can't win until they're gone.
Absolutely.
#facts. Absolutely. They've never won anything.
Don't understand why we keep doubling down on suck. It makes no sense.
Emmanuel Rosu says, I'm neutral about the trade. Most of the pundits said Darche was trying to land a bigger fish, but didn't want to part with any of the top prospects. That's my silver lining in all this, not Shen. The thing is, you don't know who's going to pan out and who's not. And here's the thing. You're not if you want to build a team that can win now and in the future, you get someone like a Robert Thomas and a Jordan Kyrou. If you want to do that, yeah. And I was dead set against making any moves that would bring guys in. I just wanted draft picks and more draft picks. That was my stance earlier in the year, before I saw how good Matthew Schaefer is and and how good he's been from day one, and Ilya Sorokin has been fantastic. Okay, then I was open to the idea of making deals, but I wanted to bring in players who you could build around the best player the team has ever had, the most skilled player that the team has ever had in Matthew Schaefer. You don't add guys in their mid-30s. You bring in guys who are 27 and under contract for 5 more years. You could let them go after 5 years. Get 5 years of Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou. Those are the type of guys, yeah, you can build with those guys. Then you augment with the picks you have. That's how you do it. The Heat went in a totally different direction. SSC says, this is not a charity. Owners want to make money. Then get out of sports.
Yeah, do not own a sports franchise. Then you could make a lot more money with other investments than a sports team. A lot more.
Or you just won't have a winner.
True.
Look at the Philadelphia Eagles.
You could be like the Bengals. Spend no money on anything. Have your team suck constantly, and just make some coin for yourself. But then have your fan base pissed at you all the time because your team blows. You do that.
Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Spent the most money by far in the last 5-6 years.
Won a Super Bowl.
Went to how many Super Bowls?
2.
2? One with a substandard quarterback.
I like Jalen Hurts. I love Jalen Hurts. Went to Oklahoma,
but he's not a great quarterback, right?
He's not a great quarterback. No, he's a really good athlete. He's a really good runner.
Yeah. Okay, he's not a quarterback.
No, he's not. Okay. But anyway, yeah. Then get out. Yeah, exactly. Get out of owning a sports franchise.
Jared Blocker says because management doesn't care if they perform or not. See, that's the whole thing. They don't care. They don't. And maybe they said to Darche, okay, we want you to make sure that we make the playoffs. Whatever you got to do to keep us in the playoff hunt every year, that's what we care about. Maybe ownership said that.
I guarantee that's been my theory the entire time, though, has been ownership wants to do whatever they can to make the playoffs and generate that additional revenue for those extra weeks.
If that is the case, why should fans root for the team?
That's my point. That it's been that all along. They've always made pushes to try and just squeak into the playoffs, and the only incentive to just squeaking into the playoffs is you gain that extra revenue as an owner. That's it. And again, yes, the only way you're going to hurt them and make actual change happen is by stopping going to the games. Stop buying the merchandise. Stop buying the tickets. You can still root for the team and watch the games at the house, but stop giving them your money to make an actual change. That's the only way anything's going to happen. When they start losing money and they start seeing their profits go down, they're going to say, oh, shit, we got to do something to go ahead and change what our team's doing because we're not making any more money. Or they'll be forced to sell the franchise. That's the only way to get it to work. But the thing is you have to have everybody buy in, which that's never going to happen. So
Tim McCall says, why are we all shitting on Darche? At least he's better than Lou. He's the same exact guy. They're the same. Matter of fact, he's worse than Lou because
he had a great draft pick that fell into his lap.
At least Lou brought in guys who play for the team still, right? First round pick Palmieri's been here how many years? Pajot's been here how many years? Horvat's going to be here for how many years? These guys that Darche has brought in, they're 2 years, then they're gone. They're gone. He's worse. What was the one before that? Okay. SSC says traded all the picks, and yet you say the players will not make it. Traded all the picks, and yet you say the players will not. I don't even know what that means.
Are you saying that we're upset that he traded away all the picks, but yet at the same point in time we're saying that the players wouldn't make the team anyway, even if we drafted them?
Well, you don't know. You don't know. That's why you want as many kicks at the can as possible. Because everyone just
pans out.
That's right. Most do not pan out. Think about that. Most draft picks do not pan out, and they certainly don't turn into stars. That's why you want as many kicks at the can as possible. Looks like Eklund could be something. Who knows? Danny Nelson, right? Oh, everyone, Danny Nelson. He's bottom 6 guy. Cole Iserman, bust. He's a bust. I guarantee you he's going to bust out. Anyone who hated Oliver Wahlstrom, get ready to hate this kid too.
I'd try and trade him.
Don't Smoke Crack says, I'm not convinced Darche is great or terrible. I still willing to give him this offseason, though I'm starting to question whether or not he knows what the hell he's doing. Yeah. What's his hands are tied because of the moves he made at this deadline. You're not moving. Is Braden Shen going anywhere? Is Andre Palat going anywhere? No. Is Pajot going anywhere? No. Maybe Duclair. He could have moved Casey Cizikas at the deadline, got a third-round pick.
Did you read this one? I'm sorry. I don't remember if you did or not.
Yeah, I just did that.
Okay. I did want to put this funny. This made me laugh.
Freedom says Sonek's entire life is a fantasy. Why does he need fantasy sports?
That was funny. And this one's hilarious.
Paf says, prediction. Lee hands the C over to Romanoff before Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, and it lifts the team spirits to victory.
My God. That's too funny. That's too funny.
Fleet Dream says, Wah was on his hands and knees begging for Shen to come to the Islanders. How pathetic.
Awful.
Freedom Front Adventure says, Core way too comfortable, and that's why I wanted Wah's fire. You notice he doesn't have that fire anymore. You notice?
Mm-hmm.
He said after Anaheim, played good enough to win. No, they didn't. Sounds like Jack Capuano. Defense had 2 total hits that night, got crushed, wouldn't protect Schaefer, no standards. Yeah, because they're all comfortable. Fat, dumb, and happy is the way they are in the organization. David said, Robert Thomas did a daily face-off interview and said he was never asked to waive, nor did he ever ask to be traded. Sounds a lot like the Gaudreau trade hype with us.
And I'll say to that previous comment, when the MO for your team and organization has been mediocrity, that's what you're going to get from the players. Fleet Dreams 33 says, fire Darche, hire Grumpy.
It just made my job so much more difficult to do, though, with his failure. Jared Blocker says, the playoff experience narrative means nothing. You know who also doesn't have experience? Buffalo guys, Duck guys, Utah guys, etc. Those teams are not worried about it. Yeah, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Just nonsense. Just nonsense. And Schaefer's the only guy that I'd even want on the team for playoffs. He doesn't shrink from the moment. He never has. To think he's going to shrink from the moment now, you're crazy. Frank from Empire State says, X, you're a freaking idiot. Sorry. You buy any business to win and make money, not sports.
Nope.
Lou had us lose $25 million. Maybe that's not a lot for you.
That would be a lot for me. I'll throw that out there. But yeah, what did Lou also do? Trade away picks too, right?
Yep.
I guess that was conducive to losing the $25 million. That's other guys on the same exact road, trading away draft picks for 34-year-olds. So he's following the same path. So maybe we'll lose $50 million between the two.
Ooh. AG Piazza says, didn't mind the Shen trade, but thought JGP should have been moved in that case. So I'm confused as why he got re-signed. Also, should have moved Shabanov or something. Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you say, honestly, JGP is probably better than Shen at this point? I think Shen is more physical, but he can't skate anymore.
Team is physicality is not needed. It's a lot of flair and finesse now.
Goon says, has the TJ and Grumpy Old Man show been canceled? Should the Islanders be dismantled? The TJ and Grumpy Old Man has been canceled. I did not want to continue the cost outlay that I had for that show. So it was been canceled. Brendan Gaines says, if you want to be technical, Grumpy, he was on a 59-point pace. That's not missed. No. The team scored a lot of goals early. No. Kyle Palmieri's a nothing. He's nothing. He's not a winner. He's a nothing. Stop. You said he was on a 25-goal pace. That's what I called you on, 25-goal pace. Matthew Sklar says, Kyle McLean is probably gone. Okay, see you later. It doesn't matter. You've got a million of Kyle McLeans. They're all over the place. Doesn't matter. Brandon Gay says, and if you do buy out Palat, his cap hit for 26. Why would you take 2 years of a cap hit for Andre Palat? They're not. They're going to keep him. You're not buying him out. His cap hit would be $2.7 million next year, and then a 1.65 cap hit. How's that for fact checking and match, Bucko? They're not buying him out. They're not buying him out. What makes you think they're buying him out? They traded for that cap hit.
Yep.
Why would they buy it out? Have they had a history of buying out contracts? No. They only bought out Rick DiPietro's. Other than that, they eat them. They did that with Andrew Ladd. They could have bought his contract out. They didn't do it. They hold on to those guys or they give up picks to get rid of them. The cap is going up. They're not buying out Andre Palat's contract. Remember, Brandon, you heard it here first. Just say, yes, sir, you're right. And that's just say, grumpy old man, you're right. And I, Brandon Gaines, are wrong. That's what I want to hear from you. Freedom Fun Adventure says, Sonex, please shut up about Cairo. He is soft in a down year. Did you unsee Barzy dog walk him last night? Cairo doesn't play defense. You know St. Louis trying to trade him since before they signed him. Find better guys. Okay, that's fine. I will say, did you see that Barzell goal?
No, I didn't.
Shoot the puck more, Matty B. Shoot the puck more, please.
He always tries to get assists all the time. Always
beg him to shoot the puck. If
he has the most points on the team. I don't know if you know that.
If he shoots the puck a little bit more, I mean, he's got a great shot. He just doesn't want to shoot the puck.
He's always
looking overtime, and it was a fantastic shot.
He's had some really nice moves this year.
Matty B, please shoot the puck. Their power play would be so much better if he was an option to shoot the puck. Brandon Gaines says, Duclair's no trade clause becomes modified next summer. Grumpy, much easier to move him then. Okay. I think he'll be open to getting moved in the summer. He didn't want to get moved in the deadline. Again, that was a bad signing like Lamoriello. I called the time. Why give a guy like that a 4-year deal? He hasn't been able to stick with the team more than 2 years before he gets moved. And you see why. They haven't wanted him since last year. First year into his deal, they didn't want him anymore. Didn't want him. He's a cancer in the locker room. That's all I can say. Matthew Scar said, would be nice to move Duclair. I just don't think anyone wants him. Yeah.
That's the worry, is like he's been bounced around to so many teams now. It's like you're gonna have to probably give something up to get rid of him. And that's the thing that stinks about it.
But here's the thing, Patrick Waugh wanted him.
I know, but I'm just saying, as a guy who's been bounced around to so many different teams, people will look at it like, okay, what's wrong with him? Why can't he find a spot where he stays? And they're going to be like, okay, well, if I'm taking a risk on this guy, maybe we need to get a little something in return. And especially if they're going to eat cap, yeah, 100%. We're going to have to give up something to get rid of him.
X, can you look at what our salary caps is for next year?
Yes.
I'm just wondering how much cap space we got left. Just interested. Freedom Fun Red says, this draft has a good amount of right-hand defensemen in the first 2 rounds. Thus, I wanted as many shots to add quality forward and multiple right-hand drafts via draft. Well, they do need some right-hand defense for certain because they don't have any, not one, in the farm system. Not a one. Okay, let's look at the 2026, 2027. Did you get 2026, 27?
No, I just have it on.
There's one that shows what it is the next year.
There it is, cap projections.
Okay.
27. Projected cap space is going to be $15.2 million for 26-27.
Okay. So, like I said, they're not buying anybody out. They're absolutely not. $15 million. What's that going to get you? I don't know. They have to move. The fact is, you got, once again, too many players under contract who are in the regular lineup. That's the issue they've had for a number of years. You can almost tell what their starting roster is going to be the next year at the end of the previous year because they have so many guys locked up for the deals. Okay. Okay, next. Freedom Fund Grumpy, did I say team? No, I said organization. You do realize Bridgeport is part of the Islanders organization, right? I don't even know what he's talking about. Next. JP says, I said it before, I'll say it again. It's painfully obvious that the Islanders ownership prime directive is building those casinos and hotels and other BS and roping the patrons into perpetual mediocrity. You could be right. Could be right. Nazato says, I don't know, the Islander kid, Brandon Bussey, looks pretty good in Carolina as a goalie that got him cheap for the next couple of years. Well, Carolina is a cheap organization. I will say that. But I'll tell you what, he's got pumpkin written all over him, doesn't he, really, X? I think if you're counting on him to win you a Stanley Cup title, I think you're making a mistake. Mario Vargas says, if anybody has any doubts that Darche wanted Higgins, all you have to do is watch the NHL Network documentary on last year's draft.
Yep.
Craig, the regular Human bartender, says, stop comparing Schaefer to Tavares. He left for the Leafs and hasn't won shit. Laugh my ass off. You never know.
Let me ask a question. What have we won since he left?
Shit.
So he would have been in the same boat if he stayed here.
There's no difference.
Except he gets to play with Austin Matthews.
Craig also says, Darche blows. He made all the wrong moves at the deadline. Heard a funny story that he went knocking on every St. Louis doors asking if the players would waive. Only Shen did. So here we are. I don't know if that's true or not. I think
it's probably not.
Big Islander fan says, trade Cizikas. They'll extend it before next year. He will not be extended. Brandon Gaines says, sorry, Grumpy. The only person I'm going to say I'm wrong to is my wife. Nothing personal. Well, there you go.
Know, not. I agree with that. I agree with that.
That's right. As long as you know deep down you were wrong.
I agree.
Greg says, Darche blow. Okay, we already read that one, X.
Okay, sorry.
Big Islander fan says, the Islanders were bought for $485 million. Now they're valued at $1.82 billion. That is a great investment. When Malkin and Ledecky decide to sell, they'll be fine. Yeah. It's not like it's the valuation of the franchise. That's what goes up.
Yeah.
It just does.
Because, I mean, you got to take into consideration, right? It's probably the building they own, too, that they just brand new building they paid for and bought. I mean, that also raises the value of the overall team. Like, there's a lot of aspects that go into it that they're probably paying for, but it still is accumulated in the overall.
Yeah, it gets valued at a certain amount, but they're still paying that off. It's not like they, hey, we're going to build that.
Yeah. It's not like they just got that $1.82 million, for free. They're still paying off the building.
That's right, Mr. X.
And that's where I guarantee you majority of the value is due to the new building that they just built. So.
I agree.
Yep. Anything else you want to say before we hop off, Grumpy?
Yes, well, thank you once again. And again, Islander fans, if you want to be part of the Islanders Never Say Die Fantasy Baseball League, please just shoot us an email at islandersfansunited@gmail.com. Like I said, the more the merrier. It's always a great time, particularly over the summer. We have a lot of fun with that. And love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't. You hear the inflection of my voice, X?
Love and laughter to everyone who
listens and even those who don't. You see how I did that inflection?
I see how you did that. Inflection. Yeah.
But you got to try it.
Yeah.
From the Grumpy Old Man and Son X.
Yep. And I want to thank everybody for coming out and listening as always. Love the interaction in the comments. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks, Grumpy.
There's one last comment. Shen trade is hard to defend on pure hockey terms. It's a play to keep excitement for the playoffs and keep up momentum for season ticket sales. That's a job of GM's job too. Yeah, no.
It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't
be. You should look at the long-term success of the team. You should not just look from here to here.
That's right. GM always has to be looking 3, 4, 5 years out.
Otherwise, you turn to the Pittsburgh Steelers, where you're just scraping by to make the playoffs, get a above 500 record, and get eliminated in the first round. And then your fan base eventually, after 6 years, gets pissed off, and then you have to go ahead and make changes.
Yeah.
So, yep. Anyway, see you guys next time. Thanks, Grumpy.
My pleasure.